So this is weird. I'm literally watching the Vancouver Canucks and the Seattle Kraken right now whilst pre-recording videos for my trip later in the afternoon, but we have ourselves a trade. And it's an interesting one between the Colorado Avalanche and the Nashville Predators. Yeah, that's right, folks. Barry Trotz has traded with Colorado one more time. And the details are posted right here on Reddit. I mean, I guess we could go over to NHL.com, and yeah, there you go. Let's read this on the Nashville Predators website. It's easier to see with the graphic. Take a look at this. The Nashville Predators have acquired Ondrej Pavel. No, that's not Ondrej Pavelek. And a third-round draft pick in 2027 in the NHL Draft from the Colorado Avalanche. Nashville now owns 13 picks in the first 3 rounds of the next 3 NHL drafts. And that sounds like a lot, but you think about it, normally you would have 1 pick each in a round in the next 3 drafts, so you would have normally 9. The Predators have added 4 extra draft picks, which is good. I'm not going to say that's not great, but still. Anyways, Nashville is receiving prospect Ondrej Pavel and a 2027 third in exchange for Colorado new forward Juuso Parssinen and a 2026 7th round pick. Very interesting move. We will dive into both of these players here in this video, but let's go out there and read the press release. Nashville Predators GM Barry Trotz announced today that the team has acquired forward Ondrej Pavelek, my gosh, even I got tripped up on it. Ondrej Pavel and a 3rd round pick in 2027 in exchange for Juuso Parssinen and the Rangers 7th round pick in 2026. Pavel, 24, has 2 assists, and okay, we can actually go out there and look at all this stuff on Elite Prospects. We don't need to read this on the article, but let's take a look at the new guy that Barry Trotz has brought in alongside of a 3rd round pick. Ondrej Pavel, formerly of Minnesota State University. I'm pretty sure that's Mankato, is it not? Yeah, Mankato, yes, exactly. Exactly, my NCAA knowledge coming through there. But Ondrej Pavel is a Czech forward, 6'2", 205 center, left-handed guy, 24 years old, born on August 29th, 2000. Undrafted, so he is a free agent signee by the Colorado Avalanche, and after spending some time in the NCAA, not really being super productive admittedly, he then signed on with the Avalanche to play in their system. He played 2 games with the Avalanche last year, getting 0 points. Even this season, he is at 2 points in 14 AHL games, so realistically, I mean, there is not really much to go out there and clamor about when it comes to Ondrej Pavel and his offensive profile. This isn't really somebody who's lit up the score sheet in any capacity. He did have some pretty... Okay, I was going to say he had decent USHL production, but even that seems like a stretch. I mean, captain of the Fargo Force in his draft plus 1 year. No, excuse me, his draft plus 2 year. He had half a point a game in the junior league. What in the world is going on with this dude? Oh boy, he must be like the best defensive player of all time if this is the profile here. Not really too productive, not really too, let's just say, constant with his overall progression here. I mean, some of these numbers don't really scream top-tier talent, but to see him get traded over to Nashville, somebody that Barry Trotz wanted to acquire for his team, it does very much intrigue me, and I think this will be one of the more interesting stories to follow along here as the NHL season goes on, especially when you consider the guy that the Predators traded away to get this guy into their system. It's Juuso Parssinen, whom I'm pretty sure most of y'all are familiar with for his beautiful overtime between the legs goal he scored in 3-on-3 earlier last season. But Juuso Parssinen is younger, he is more productive, he has 5 points in 15 Nashville Predators games. Last season he was at 25 points in 36 AHL games, plus the 8 goals he had scored in 44 games with Nashville. He's had some pretty strong seasons the past few years. He was admittedly at his best playing with Nashville in 22-23, 25 points in 45 games played. He was a gamer here, and admittedly, when you think about the progression, you think about just the potential here, because Parssinen is younger, because he has been more productive, it becomes easier to understand why the trade sees Pavel and a 3rd get acquired for Parssinen and a 7th. It's just, the trade itself is so weird. Why did Nashville trade this guy away? And how much value did they really see in Ondrej Pavel to make this an appropriate trade return? let's go out there and read some of the replies to the Our Hockey subreddit thread, because there are a lot of people going out there and trying to analyze this. He is the combined powers of Pavel Zacha and Ondrej Pavel. This is on... Okay, we're gonna skip past that. What is Trotz doing? Perhaps he's been sitting in the press box. The Preds played the last 2 games with 11 forwards and 7D playing over Juuso Parssinen. He never really lived up to that rookie season. This question gets asked every single time Barry Trotz trades a player away, but at the same time, none of the players that Trotz has traded so far have been particularly fantastic beyond their first 3 games or so with their new team. Even the one time he was the one who got younger by trading Wedgwood, who had been playing terribly, for a younger and higher potential upside player in Anaheim, people still asked about this. I don't really get why people are so flabbergasted that he's trading young players that weren't cutting it. Yeah, people are dumb. Wedgwood has been fantastic for the Avalanche, but we still give up a young player who, despite his struggles, has more upside. And guess what? Anton has been great in Nashville. Sometimes trades aren't about winners or losers, but can make sense for both clubs. This Parssinen guy is league min healthy scratch. He might work out here, he might not. They've mentioned several times during games that Anton said Colorado was forcing him to play in a way that he wasn't comfortable with. They wanted him further out and challenging the shooter, whereas he prefers to sit back and trust his positioning more. Now, I wanted to go out there and take a look at some of the other comments. Are there any replies going over the player, Ondrej Pavel? I mean, a lot of people are talking about Parssinen, Parsnips, and his overall goal-scoring ability that was a lot more prevalent a few years ago. Anytime your team makes a trade with Barry Trotz, it has to be good. That's kind of funny. I don't see why you wouldn't feel good, Colorado fans. You got someone who seems like he could be a decent third-line center for very little. Low-risk, medium-reward type move. Parssinen has showed some offensive skill at the NHL level, but he doesn't get opportunities in Nashville, which is the explanation for every youngish forward moved out of that team over the last few years. I don't know, it looks like you got a younger guy who's played NHL games for an AHL player and a pick. Ondrej Pavel has been stuck on the Eagles. He is decent, but he hasn't broken through just yet. Let's see if we can find some other comments about Ondrej Pavel and his progression here. Yeah, a lot of people not really talking much about him. It's really just a trade for Parssinen, and I feel like that's the majority of the value here in this transaction. And Barry Trotz, once again, is the guy giving up the bigger name here. So if you're a Nashville Predators fan, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about Juuso Parssinen as an addition for your team, and where do you see this guy slotting into your lineup? We have seen some interesting Finns make themselves known on Colorado the past little while here. Obviously, Mikko Rantanen is the big one. Arturi Lehkonen just got a hat trick the other night. And everybody else that you could say is thrown around in that mix too. Yoel Kiviranta happens to be my personal favorite. But is Parssinen yet another one of these guys? And whether or not you see value in him, or you see value in the other trade acquisition, Ondrej Pavel, going the opposite way to the Nashville Predators system, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.